advancing.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you clicked on this video it's because you're interested in moving to Japan, taking that big step and joining the JET program. The JET program, if you don't already know, is the Japanese Exchange and Teaching Program, and this program allows you to come to Japan. They pay for your ticket, they pay for your return flight home, and they pay you to teach here in Japan. So definitely, if you haven't thought about it, take the opportunity and come to Japan. So I'm going to be telling you about the application process because I know so many people have questions on what to do. They just need advice, they're interested, and I was in that position once, and I know I watched 1,000,001 videos, so I'm going to give you my advice. First things first, the application opens in September and closes in November, and that might vary from country to country, but that's the dates that I know. And that might seem like a lot of time, but trust me, it is not. Do not procrastinate. Do not do what I did. I nearly missed this opportunity because I took too long to do my application. It just seemed like so much time, and I was just focused on my statement of purpose. And I know lots of people freak out about that, but your statement of purpose is not really what you have to worry about. You can always finesse the writing section of this application, but what you cannot finesse is the documents. My number one advice is to get all of your documents in order. Fill out the self-report for the health check. Get your proof of graduation. For this program, you need a bachelor's degree in any discipline. It doesn't need to be teaching to apply. And you need 2 letters of recommendation. The first thing I would do is get those letters of recommendation in order. If you're thinking about applying, start thinking about who you're gonna ask for those letters of recommendation. They're gonna send a direct link to those people. It just goes straight to them. Number 2 is the proof of graduation. So you would need to go through your school to get the proof of graduation, and I think you also need your unofficial transcript. So you know how schools are, they take maybe 2 business days, it might take a while, and that's how I nearly fumbled this opportunity, was the proof of graduation. I was working at my university and it was on a Friday. The application was going to be due on the Sunday, and the university doesn't open during the weekends. My friend was also applying, and if she didn't call me to be like, did you get your proof of graduation? And I was like, what? And then I ran to the office, which was about to close in 5 minutes, and got that done. So you know how it is. Get those documents in order first. Next, let's talk about the writing portion of the application. So they ask you for your working experience like any other job application. They ask you for your level of Japanese, and for this program, honestly, you don't need any Japanese. I don't know any Japanese. I didn't study in university. I put on my application that I self-studied with Duolingo, and look at me now. So you don't need to be like the perfect person. You just need to have a genuine interest in Japan, which they also ask for on your application, like why you interested. Next is your statement of purpose. I know a lot of people freak out about this, but I honestly wrote my statement of purpose in maybe 3 days, I think. Like the night that it was due, I finished writing my statement of purpose, because you know, you have to really like work on something and make sure that it's perfect for a long time. And I was actually at a Thanksgiving dinner when I finished my application. I was at the dinner like So yeah, I just wanted it to be perfect. That's why I waited so long, and I put it in maybe 10 something that night. And I saw some rumor online saying if you put in your application late, you're not going to be considered. That's obviously not true, because look at me now, I'm here, I got the interview. So yeah, for your writing section, not the statement of purpose, they're gonna get your interview questions from there. I also saw videos saying that they're gonna ask you about your statement of purpose, but they asked me maybe one question from my statement of purpose, and everything mostly came from that writing section, the little individual questions that they ask you. Definitely make sure you save what you wrote for that section so that you're well versed. It's your experience, but just make sure that you remember what you put, because if you're a forgetful person like me, like, yeah. Save your application and you study for your interview from that section. Even though it's your experience, you know, you just want to make sure that what you wrote matches up to yourself. So put your genuine interest in Japan. Another thing they're gonna ask you is where you want to go. I don't want to influence your decision too much, but at the time of applying, I was very interested in the countryside, and the countryside is what I got. So I put my top 3 interests and they got me really close to those areas. But if I knew any better, honestly, I didn't know anything really about life in Japan before coming. And if I knew, I would pick areas like Kanagawa or Kansai. But that's just because of my personality, and this is fine. The area that I'm at is fine now, but because of the pandemic, you know, things change, and what is your pro in the countryside is not a pro in the pandemic, because you become just really bored because you can't do anything. But yeah, that's besides the point. Just make sure you're choosing your places of interest carefully and why you're choosing those places, because that was one of my interview questions, and I should make a separate video on the interview, so let me not really get into that. But if you have any questions, definitely ask in the comments. Next is going to be the statements of purpose. As I said before, the JET program is a job like any other, and if you're gonna apply for a job, you should research on the job you're applying for. On their website, they have their mission statement, they have their goals, they have everything. Read through all that and make sure your interests align with what they're looking for. You can't just put, I'm applying for the JET program because it's the best, I'm interested in Japan, I love anime. No, you have to put what you're going to offer to Japan, what you're going to offer to the students. So look for what they're looking for and make sure your application has that. So just make sure you're covering all your bases. I don't want to influence your statements of purpose too much, because that just has to be your personality, and just because it probably didn't work out for a few people doesn't mean it's not gonna work out for you, because I know so many people say not to mention anime in their interview. I mentioned anime in my interview and I'm here right now. Maybe I could tell you more about that another time, but just be yourself. Just make sure you're putting your best foot forward. Make sure you're putting how you're gonna gain from being in Japan and how people in Japan are gonna benefit from having you here. And just good luck on your application. Just take the #1 advice and don't procrastinate. Do your documents first, and hopefully you could have this wonderful just opportunity. If you're afraid to apply, I don't know, I just took the leap of faith. When I get interested in something, I just have to see it through. So that's what I did. It doesn't hurt to apply, because if you get the interview opportunity and you're no longer interested, you could just turn it down. But you'll never know if you never apply. And the application process is just very long, and the hardest part about it is waiting. So just apply. Just apply and take the chance. You know, you could always turn it down. You're not really losing much, maybe a little bit of money for the unofficial transcripts, but yeah, take the chance. It's meant to be. It honestly will be, so don't freak out too much. I had a friend that did the application with me, and when the interview results came out, she was like, yeah, honestly, I don't see Japan in my life right now, so I'm not gonna do it. And that's totally fine. So good luck. I hope everything works out. I'm here as a resource if you need help with anything or if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching. Like this video if you got any valuable advice. I have videos of my journey throughout everything. So if you want to see more of that, press the subscribe button, and yeah, Bye bye.